Okay, so I need you to promise not to comment until you watch this whole video, because I'm going to be saying some stuff, and you're going to be like, are they really saying this right now? I need you to let me come full circle. Okay, just disclaimer.
The reason that the majority of y'all have an issue with me claiming that men are incapable of love, which is a fact, and I can prove it, okay, with science, not out of the crack of my behind. The reason that y'all have a problem.
I tagged the video below, so you can watch that whole video if you want to, but the claim of men not being capable of love, right? And she explained that she also shows the studies that she's read, and she shows during her show on YouTube about how she's found that out and how it's scientifically factual. This podcast, I love it so much. Mating Matters. The host is Wendy Walsh. She's a psychologist who applies her knowledge of psychology to intimacy between men and women. In this episode, Trouble with Testosterone, she explains that when we engage in physical intimacy in the bedroom, oxytocin is released, right? And for women, when the oxytocin is released in them, that's what causes them to fall in love. She explains that studies have shown that for men, because of the amount of testosterone that they have, the testosterone blocks the effects of the oxytocin, which causes the men to not fall in love. Now, this falls in line with how you've always heard men say that they can sleep with another woman and it mean nothing. That's actually true. They're not falling in love with her. Again, please wait till the end. Wait till the end. And that would also ring true for their main woman, like the wife or just their main partner if they're not married, right? Is that he may be engaging in physical intimacy with her, but his testosterone is blocking the impact of the oxytocin, so he doesn't fall in love with her via the bedroom activity. Oop, forgot the most important part of this, is that men don't fall in love through intimacy in the bedroom. The host explains that men fall in love through trust. Men fall in love with the woman because they trust the woman. Now here's the part where, bringing it back to Princella the Queenmaker, explaining about how men are not capable of love. And how Wendy Walsh, from the Mating Matters I just explained to you, is that men need to do it through trust. I reference Lovers and Friends with Shan Boodram, this episode from 2 years ago, Do We Really Want Vulnerable Men? Is that Shan is interviewing a man, and they explain about how women are saying, oh, vulnerability is the new sexy. And they explain that that's really harmful, that women need to stop fetishizing men's vulnerability, which show that they don't understand what women mean when they say vulnerability is sexy. Is that when a man is vulnerable, because so many men say that, oh, you can't trust women, you can't be vulnerable with her because she'll use your vulnerability in an argument when she gets upset at you, right? Men are saying this to each other all the time online. And lo and behold, this post from Spiritual Word, where men are all in the comments saying you can't be vulnerable with a woman. Don't vent to women, that just gives them ammo to use against you during an argument. Y'all be thinking men be emotionally unavailable, but in reality, majority of the time, we don't feel safe. And again, I want to reemphasize, men don't fall in love through intimacy in the bedroom like women do because the testosterone blocks the oxytocin, which is like the connector for the falling in love, right? And Mating Matters explains that it's through trust. But men constantly are always telling women that they don't feel that they can trust a woman 100%. And I want to bring it back to this episode of Do We Really Want Vulnerable Men? Is that the man that Shan is interviewing, he admits that a lot of men don't feel safe. And Shan asks him, because this man is also married. So she asks him, okay, with your wife, do you feel comfortable being 100% with her? And he says no. And Shan asks him another follow-up question of saying, are you okay with the fact that you're not 100% connected to her? I'm paraphrasing, but she also gives it like a percentage of you're okay with only getting 80% of the possible love that you could be feeling with your wife. And he said, yes, he would rather have the 80% than attempt to have the 100% and risk the possibility of his wife hurting him emotionally. And so in summarizing my point, men don't fall in love through intimacy in the bedroom because the testosterone blocks the oxytocin. Men fall in love when they can trust a woman. But we have seen proven, men have admitted on this app that, not even on this app, just everywhere, online, offline, that they don't tell a woman everything. They don't tell her 100% everything because they don't fully trust her. That backs up from what I've understanding and what I've heard, what I've shown you right now, is that men are not capable of love because men don't give themselves the capability of falling in love. And then we factor in about how we know society teaches men to view women as less than, to say that a woman is to submit to him, to not view a woman as equal, right? Young boys are raised to see, oh, you throw like a girl. They associate femininity with weakness, with less than, so they don't want to be anything like that. They're taught to demonize who is supposed to be their other half, right? You cannot love something that you think is less than you. You cannot love something that you dehumanize and don't allow to exist in its autonomy. Women. And what is unfortunate for any man that would disagree with any of this is that we have receipts of men constantly saying that they can sleep with another woman even though they're married or have their own main partner, they're in a monogamous relationship. Monogamy. Is that they've admitted that it means nothing when they sleep with a woman. Why? Because the testosterone blocks the oxytocin, and they don't fall in love via intimacy in the bedroom. It's unfortunate for men that disagree with this because we have receipts of men saying and agreeing that it's too dangerous for men to be vulnerable. Men say that this society doesn't care about men, that men are not allowed to have safe spaces to cry, right? We have the receipts of men admitting all of this. A lot of men are not capable of falling in love because they don't allow themselves to. They don't allow themselves to trust women. And the amount of evidence of how men have become incapable of loving is either if they reference science, right? They'll say that, oh, it's scientific, that men are just hunters and women are the ones that are vulnerable, naturally submissive. They say it's biological, right? They've admitted that it's biological. And then if you want to get into religion, right, there's the biology, but then there's also the psychological indoctrination, how there's multiple religions that teach that men are above women. Again, there's so many receipts to all of this that men have been admitting that they don't fall in love, that they don't love women from the beginning.